And former Congressman Alan West joins us. Good evening, Colonel. I understand, the emotion here, strong words from two senators. But given the chaos of today, 4,500 Americans' lives lost, billions of dollars spent, you have to wonder, was Iraq better off with Saddam Hussein, given the fact that at some point he worked with us in going after
Well, good evening, Judge, and I don't think that Iraq was better off with Saddam Hussein. I was there stationed in Iraq in 2003, and I think that the Iraqi people did not want to live under his tyranny as well as the tyranny of his sons. But back in August of 2011, I went on a congressional delegation visit to Israel, and sitting there with Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said, do not zero out your forces in Iraq, because if you do, you will create an incredible vacuum, and you don't know what will fill that vacuum. Now we do know what has filled that vacuum. President Obama made a political decision, a campaign promise decision, not a strategic vision decision in Iraq by withdrawing all of our military forces against the request, the advice of General Austin, who at the time was the commander on the ground, for 15,000 troops. With those 15,000 troops, you could have put them out on the shoulders along the borders of Iraq and Syria up north, working with the Kurdish forces, as well as protecting the Syrians and the Chaldeans, and then also put them on the borders with Iran. But now we don't have any options in Iraq because these forces are now in less than 100 miles away. And the thing is, if you're going to use any type of air power, you have to have people on the ground to direct those munitions against the enemy forces.
All right. So what you're saying is we're going to need boots on the ground if we're going to be in a position to, as the president says, protect national security interests, correct?
When the president says he's going to use a counterterrorism fund, that's the last thing that they're considering when you've got the enemy 70 miles from Baghdad.
All right. And let me ask you this. Without, what seems to be the simple answer that maybe we left too soon, we spent billions of dollars training the Iraqi military and the police. And it seems that as soon as these guys came out from under, I mean, they started with Fallujah and then Mosul and then Tikrit, they just ran for cover. Did we not train them well?
Well, I don't think that's the issue. I think that you're not going to create a world-class Western civilization type of fighting force overnight. And the other thing is that when we did exit Iraq, Mr. al-Maliki just went ahead without anyone there keeping an eye on him. He purged the military of the senior leaders that were working with the Americans, doing the surge and in other aspects, which were helping this army to be a very quality type of army that could stand against them. Now you just have his cronies that are in charge, and you see the defections and the desertions. Wow. And as a matter of fact, they're only at 50% of the original army of 2 years ago when we left. Well,
you have to wonder, Congressman, this tribal fighting has been going on for thousands of years. Thanks so much for being with us, former Congressman
Thank you,
Alan
but
West.
we don't need an enemy sanctuary.